I survived the narcissist, and so can you. But you have to have tools in your tool belt. You have to have knowledge. When you know that you're dealing with a toxic person, you've got to know all of the strategies that they're going to use. 90% of women miss the latest strategy and tactic that they're out there using to get women to do whatever they want. And that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. And we are going to leave empowered. We're going to leave with knowledge, and we're going to feel good that we've got one more tool in our tool belt. Hey, if you are new here, my name is Chandanicole, and I help women get through, recover, and become healed and whole again after dealing with narcissists, toxic people, and becoming the best versions of themselves. I've done it, and I'm going to help you do it too. I personally don't think that any of us go through pain just for no reason. So if we can help somebody else, that was the purpose for our pain. And so I'm committed to showing up and building a community where women feel safe to know that there's hope, that they don't have to feel stuck, and that life can be great again. So let's get into today's topic. 90% of women miss this latest tactic that seems to be going viral or all the rage now because you don't see it coming, because it's right in your face. And so what is that? That is that these narcissistic people with either full-blown narcissistic personality disorder, or they are exhibiting narcissistic traits, now just tell you plain and simple up front who they are, how they move, what their failures and flaws are, and they are open and honest about it, and they are trusting that you will believe that that's the person they once were, or they want you to believe that's how they've treated other people, but you're different. They wouldn't do it to you. So let's get into a couple of examples that have been in the news just recently, and stick around to the end of the video because I have a really special offer for some free coaching that I can make available to you, because I want to see us finish 2024 strong. All right, so let's take a look at very recently an interview with Cam Newton. He did an interview with Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. It's been all over the internet. You probably have seen it, but I'm going to pull up one of his quotes here. Cam Newton says, "Me being who I am, I can take anybody and transform them into who I want them to be." Just think about that. He truly believes that he is so great, and because he is Cam Newton, that he can take anybody and transform them into the person that he wants them to be. Not who you were created to be, not who you desire to be yourself, but who he wants you to be. Let's take a look at another example. This one is also an interview that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant did, and this one is with Nick Cannon. And here is Nick's quote. "I know how to turn on the perfect man. I can be God-fearing, celibate, the one that you want. And then toxic Nick shows up." And he goes on to brag that he can get any woman to fall prey to his deception. And the Dr. Bryant, she says, but if a woman is healed and if she's done the work and she's worked on her pain points, she's not going to fall prey and victim to your schemes. He even refers to them as his tools. He says, "Oh, yes, she will, because I use my tools." And she's still vulnerable. No matter how much work she's done on herself, she's still vulnerable. And my point in bringing out these two examples, which I'm sure you guys have seen these interviews, they're all over the internet, is the point is that they are coming right out and telling the world how they move. And Nick Cannon said, doesn't matter. They're still going to be vulnerable. These women are still going to be desperate enough, thirsty enough, lonely enough, sad enough that I can just tell you how I move and it's not going to make a difference because you're still in a place of being so needy that my tools, he says, I'll get the draws and you won't hear from me for 3 weeks. This is what he is just telling the world. Cam Newton is telling the world, I can just mold and make you into whatever I want. Now, am I saying these people are full-blown narcissists and they have narcissistic personality disorder? I don't know. I don't know them personally. I'm not a clinical therapist. I am a life coach who recognizes narcissistic speech. And if they are admitting that this is how they think and this is how they operate, I know enough to know the red flags. And this is what these people are doing nowadays. This is like the new thing. It's like they're hiding in plain sight. They'll tell you about their past. They'll say things like, they did not always have a reputation for being an honest man. But they want you to believe that that was in the past. And that's not the person they are today. They'll say, they'll tell you about, past times that they cheated on people. They'll come right out and tell you that they hope that they don't mess this relationship up. My narc, he actually told me that. He said, because I was dealing with one of those narcs that also wants to be religious, he was in the church. So he said, yeah, I've been asking God, please don't let me mess this up. I'm like, in the back of my mind, because this is when we first, early on, in the back of my mind, I hear a little voice and I'm like, what do you mean? Please don't let you mess this up. But I didn't want to be confrontational and I didn't want to seem, because it was early on and, you're trying to make a good impression and keep the peace. But see, I was trying to be a people pleaser and I didn't want to address that question. And so I squashed that little voice in the back of my head, which really is your intuition. That's your gut saying, address it, address it, address it. I didn't address it. I should have addressed it because he was telling me he screwed up tons of other relationships. He was telling me. There also are times where they will just tell you about their past promiscuity and how, they were with this woman, but they make you think that that is the person they used to be. I know my narc, he came right out and told me that, people in the family used to question whether or not he has something going on with his brother's wife. Don't you know? That is who I ended up getting actual evidence that he was messing around with. 6 years later was when I got the actual proof. And again, when he told me that in the beginning, I did not want to be confrontational or accusatory because I didn't have any basis for it. 6 years later, I had basis and evidence to know that that was indeed the case. And so it probably had been the case for many years from before he met me, because he said, in the past, other people in the family have questioned whether or not we were too close. He was telling me right then and there. He was telling me, I remember another time early on, he was saying that something about, his family being like crazy. Like these people are always, he said, I hope you don't, think there's so much drama going on in my family. We're kind of known for that. I did not want to mess up what I thought might have been a good thing. See, this is where we get tripped up. This is all happening in the love bomb stage where, they're showering you with so much affection, and, they're funny and they're cool to hang around and cool to be with. All of this in the beginning, but they talk a lot also. And when they're talking, they are telling on themselves. And it's to disarm you. It's to get you comfortable, because basically they're saying, look, I'm airing my dirty laundry and I'm telling you how I move and who I used to be. But, this is going to be different, especially if they're in the church, because God has made them a quote unquote new man. And they are making you feel as if they are confiding in you, and they're telling you about the person that they used to be. And they're telling you about, how they've changed, or how God has changed them, and how they're living their life differently, or they're living their life for God if they're a religious person. And so that's to get you to drop your guard, feel special, and feel like, oh, this, he trusts me. He is confiding in me, and he's trusting me to believe that he is a good person now, and to believe that I am worthy of holding his deepest, darkest secrets. And that kind of makes us feel good. But a lot of times we won't address these things, even though those small voices in our head are saying, oh, did you hear what he just said? You need to ask some more questions about that. You need to do some more digging about that. But we want to people please. And we want them to like us, and we don't want to mess things up, and we don't want to come off as being confrontational or difficult. So that those little voices, which is really our intuition, which is really our gut, telling us, hey, red flag, red flag, red flag. But this is what these men are doing. They are actually coming right out and telling you how they move, what they're about, what their flaws are, what their past indiscretions have been. They are putting it out in plain sight and trusting that you are going to view it not as, oh my gosh, this is the person you are. They're trusting as, you are telling me your deepest, darkest secrets, and you are a changed person, and our relationship is different. It's not going to fall prey to these same tactics, and that's making me feel like we've got something special. Girl, no, it ain't. It's nothing different. It's nothing different. They are the same person. They are not, they're a wolf in sheep's clothing, to put it simply. So I think so many women are missing this. So if your man is telling you basically who he is and how he moves, like these gentlemen in the news, they're telling you how they think. They're telling you how they move. They think that they can just take anybody and mold them into their little puppet and then discard them when they're done. Nick Cannon, I can be any man you want me to be. And as soon as I got the draws, you don't hear from me. And toxic Nick shows up. And they are banking on the fact that women have not been given the knowledge, and that they have not been empowered, and they don't have tools in their tool belt to call them out, see what's going on, ask questions, get to the bottom of it, and then, here's the thing, be willing to walk away. They are banking on the fact that you will not walk away, especially if they think that you are lonely or that you are needy financially or in other ways, need of companionship, whatever it is. If they think that you are in any way needy, whether it's just for companionship, whether you need some financial help, whether you need somebody to help you with projects around the house, whatever it is, they're banking on the fact that I can tell you who I am, I can tell you how I move, and you still gonna fall for it. Because I'm gonna make you think that I'm telling you because you're special and I trust you and you are trustworthy and you'll hold my secrets and we've got this deep connection. Girl, it's a lie. It's a lie. A lie from the pit. A lie from the pit. And so I wanted to drop this off and let you guys know this is how they're moving nowadays. It used to be that they kept all their skeletons in the closet and they had a bunch of secrets. The tactic has now changed. It's no longer the skeletons in the closet. It's I'm going to put everything out there for you. But I'm going to cloak it in, oh, but we got something special. We got something different. We're going to trust each other. I'm a new man. Nothing could be further from the truth. And if you need to know how these men are going to react when you do see the signs and you begin to question and confront them about these little red flags, these little things going off in your head, then watch this video right here, or it might be right here, or here, or here. I don't know. They put it up there somewhere in the screen. Watch this video, and I'm going to go through in that video the range of emotions, what you can expect when you start to confront these narcissistic, manipulative traits. And that video will give you the tools to know what to expect and how to respond. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for hanging out. I wanted to make available to you some one-on-one coaching sessions that'll be free of charge. I am giving away 30-minute sessions where we can talk over Zoom or over the phone, and I'll help get you the type of tools that you need to get through these narcissistic relationships. So if you're interested, go down into the description of this video. There will be an email where you can contact me and we can go ahead and get you set up and get your journey towards healing and wholeness started. Thanks for sticking around this far in the video. Listen, I want you to know that there is hope. You can get through this stuff. I've gotten through it more than once. There is hope. There's healing on the other side. Y'all be real good to yourselves. I love you. Choose life. Choose joy. Always choose you. Until the next one. Bye, y'all.